back for another little weekly update and discussion of what's going on in digital marketing. How are you guys?
Not too bad, Keno. How are you? Good weekend?
Yeah, all good. Got to the final in tennis.
Oh, very good.
Lost, but look,
I thought you weren't going to say that, Perry.
better team won in the day. They played brilliant, I need to get a bit fitter, a bit faster. But sure, look, I was there. Anyway, let's get
Same
in.
day as the Wimbledon final, was it?
That
It
was
was
actually the match he was playing.
it was the same day as the women's. Yeah, no, it wasn't the Wimbledon. Yeah, God, the girl. She properly lost the head. She was very good against Sabalenka in the semi final, but she lost 6-love, 6-love. Hadn't happened to Wimbledon in a while. Must be some pressure though.
I'd say so. Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I was delighted your man. That's center one, the men's.
That's his first win as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it was his first final even. Like first Wimbledon final, so that was cool, I think, to see.
Yeah, I
Someone
like
big.
center. I do like center now. So, okay, guys. So, yeah, what do we have going on? So, in the weekly news and algorithm updates, a big one for the SEO community. I might get some more SEOs going on to the Instagram side of things, but Instagram from the 10th of July will automatically be showing all photos and results on search engines, so content is indexable. What this means is, you could end up showing in videos in Google and other search engines, and especially LLMs. You might start pulling into those as well. We'll have to see, but that's a big achievement anyway. It might mean that more people have to strategize about getting into getting their local business results in and informational based content into Instagram. It could have a nice beneficial result in search results.
Very good.
Next on the news is Google AI overviews hit by EU antitrust complaint from independent publishers. So this was always going to happen. It seemed as though publishers are annoyed with Google because there was always this partnership that, publishers create amazing content and Google rewards them with traffic. But with AI overviews, it's not going to be happening as much. There's going to be less traffic coming through to these websites, and they are not happy about it, understandably so. However, Google is saying that the traffic that will come through is going to be so much more valuable. But anyway, we're going to see how this goes on. I reckon this could be a big one. And there might be changes to, I reckon there could end up being differences in Google's search results in the EU compared to the US if this happens, or if depending on the outcomes of these kind of trials. But
Yeah, this was kind of always in the background the last while, isn't it?
yeah, they're kind of always involved, and from the looks of things, they're like, yeah, look, we're going to pay a couple of billion because we make so much. So, but it'll be interesting to see how this one goes. Keep an eye on that one in the news. Yeah, this one, Mark, you spotted this one this morning.
Yeah, this is cool. This was something. I think they rolled it out in the US a couple of weeks ago, but it's only after it only made its way to our Search Console this morning. But they're after adding this new Insights tab. I think it replaces. Remember, you could click away to your Insights thing, but now they've kind of built it into the main dashboard. So just underneath the overview there, you'll see it in your Search Console. So basically, it lets you see which of your pages are trending up or trending down, and same with your queries. So if you just wanted to very quickly see which of your pages you need to work on or what's up, what's down, it's kind of a handy way to do it.
Yeah, like it's so much handier having it there. I'd have to forget about that Insights tab option that was available, except for the emails that came through every month. So it is great to see. But it's going to be good for anything that might need republishing, like we saw there. Like this is a test website that we have, but you can see there in articles like 25 side hustles in Ireland for extra income in 2024. I haven't updated that, and obviously it's on the downward trend because it's over a year old, so it's less relevant. And obviously we're starting to see some test, I suppose, URLs that I had in place that, like NCT testing Galway. It was literally a test to see if you could rank under something, and I think I did that years ago. So again, that's losing. So that's Google doing a good job of getting rid of content that's not really performing. So, but yeah, I like it. You can go by clicks, impressions. There's even more information down where you can see the queries that are coming into play. and specific countries that you might be growing in or losing traffic in. So for international stuff. So yeah, it's great to see. And as you mentioned earlier, maybe AI overview information might feature in some of these. Hopefully,
Yeah, it pulls in like it'll show you organic traffic, obviously, but then it'll show like search from different sources. And at the minute, it just well, from the accounts I looked at, it just said like different image sources. But I'm wondering over time now, will it pull in the AI overview traffic,
I
which is
hope so.
something I think a lot of people are trying to figure out how to track that.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it's going to be like they have to eventually give it, but as I said, if they give it now, when they probably wait like 16 months. So
yeah,
that's how much data is in Search Console
yeah.
to then release it. So then there's no people saying, "Oh well, look, I would have lost this much if you didn't increase this or didn't have these features." But we'll see.
Oh yeah, and this is another interesting one too. Probably reassuring for a lot of people, I would say. Ahrefs did a fairly big study. Again, I think it was towards the end of last week, but they found that Google doesn't reward or penalize AI generated content. So what they did was they took I think it was the top 20 ranked pages across 100,000 keywords. So they looked at something like over 600,000 pages, I think, by the end of it. And then they ran everything through their own AI detection tool. They have their own one that they built. And they basically found that there's no link between AI generated content and Google rankings. It was like practically zero. It was something like 0.011.
Hmm.
And it found like I think 82% of pages are made with a blend of human and AI content. Less than 5% were fully AI, and 13% were fully human written. Um, so the study actually said there's no clear relationship between how much AI content a page has and how highly it ranks on Google. So it suggests that Google neither significantly rewards nor penalizes pages just because they use AI, which I guess kind of backs up what Google has said previously, where it's more about having useful content and being relevant to the user. It did. Now it said it's a pattern to watch and not really anything at the moment, but pages that did rank higher, so like position one, they tended to have lower levels of AI generated content. So between 0 and 30% of the content on page would have help of AI. So it's kind of subtle and might be something to kind of look for in the future. But it's I don't know, it's interesting,
I
I
guess as
think.
well, like, is AI generated content immediately not unique in a way, so that's naturally going to make it not as beneficial to people in kind of in a
That's
way.
in a nutshell. They're saying if I
Yeah.
think the raters, the Google quality raters, have been given instructions to say if it's like bland, very little info, little statistics, point of view, that kind of thing, then it's like, and if it looks like a generic AI piece, then they're not going to give it relevance or preference in search results. But
Because it probably exists somewhere else in another article. It's like it's probably unlikely that you're the only person that has that bit of information it gave you, I suppose.
yeah, yeah. Well, that's what if you're able to get your own original research in, you can
Yeah.
really go. But where I see the benefit of this might be you could, if articles required. Now, look, again, an SEO myth, I suppose, is that articles have to be a certain length. They don't. But if the top 10 search results have over 2,000 words, as an example, for a specific keyword, and you had to try and bulk that, but your own original copy only came to whatever, 1,500 words, is there the possibility of then introducing AI for an extra bit of content there to get in some of that generic information that's required that
Mm.
bulks up the article? Maybe that's a good use because you're kind of keeping it under that 30% then.
Yeah, and I think like the fact that none of the pure AI content like was up near the top spot kind of does also show you need human
Yeah,
input as well,
yeah.
But I think it's also interesting that the top 80% of the top results in Google, over 80% of the top results in Google, use AI. So I suppose from a Google point of view, it makes sense to not penalize it if sure the majority of your publishers are using it.
Like, and the content detection tools, like if a lot of editors use something like Grammarly, similarly that rewrite content that gets picked up as AI content.
Yeah, I think with the grammar stuff, because I guess humans don't have perfect grammar, but if you're using a tool like that to correct it, it does read very AI, and
Yeah,
you would see a lot of stuff, on LinkedIn, or people complaining about that, and like copywriters losing work because the client thought they were using AI to fully write it, but it's just perfect,
yeah, yeah.
grammar and spelling.
You have you probably have someone editing the copy and the content. Like we submit our content to a lot of companies that have in-house editors that always make tweaks. And although we'd have a look and make sure nothing is detected as AI in something like originality.ai, they still go in and make changes. And all of a sudden, there's a couple of sentences that when we put it back through, it shows as AI written content. However, it was organically written. So,
Yeah,
you know, just to have to take
that's it. I
some
think
pinch of salt, but it's good. It's a great study.
yeah, it's cool. It's and an interesting one. I think it's the kind of first big widespread study like this. Yeah, but yeah.
If anyone's going to do it, it was definitely going to be Ahrefs or SEMrush. So on to, that's done with the news, but on to the marketing tip of the week. We've been getting a lot more involved in Facebook advertising of late, and there are a lot of we're doing a lot of catalog marketing, remarketing, the dynamic stuff, creating different tests, different format with ads with cold and warm campaigns, and putting in 10 ads in each, and we're doing different ones, different targeting, uploading lists. But one of the best things that I've personally seen work as of late has been any campaigns that stick a carousel in there. The carousel ads are just doing unbelievable compared to a lot of different topics out there at the moment. So yeah, I'm all for making sure that people give carousel ads a go. They have increased engagement. You're able to highlight your products a lot more. You can diversify. Maybe the audience doesn't like one, but they might like the other. Not only that, if you allow and automate Facebook to alternate the cards themselves, they can optimize for the people or the images that are getting the best click through rates. So
And like
huge
you can,
returns in there.
I always find with them they tend to be longer, and you can kind of put in more products than maybe you could with a single ad.
Yeah, that's the other thing. You have the
Like there's
product.
a storytelling element to it, I would say.
Exactly.
Yeah, even as like on the other side is like probably a bit of a shallow way to look at it, but like they're more fun to just go through.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah,
feel like you spend more time on them, like
Yeah, you do. But like if you saw something that you want, and it's not just that, like I'm coming at it from the e-com perspective, I'm seeing the conversion rates on them so much higher than anything.
yeah.
But you're right for that. If it's lead gen, storytelling, if there's just some nice imagery that you like and you're trying to get engagement for a page, it's perfect.
Yeah, and like if you had, I don't know, trying to think what looks nice in a carousel, but like if you had like a real estate business, you could be showing different properties or something, or
Yeah.
like multiple views of different rooms and that kind of thing.
yeah, it's more like a magazine kind of than
Yeah,
about one poster. But yeah, geez, you would cram so much
Yeah,
into
yeah. Well, we're working with one company now, and the other thing is they had catalog ads that display in carousels, but very basic white backgrounds. While the carousel ones that they're doing now, they're putting their branding into them and making them much more appealing, let's say, than some of the standard products on the website. So those things definitely help. And instead of just having the product, each product can go to a different product and a different landing page if you wanted. So again, it's not just that one homepage or default one where you go through. So that's our marketing tip of the week. If you haven't done Carousel, get one in there.
So the deep dive of the week. So there was an article on Search Engine Land talking about which large language models kind of cite which things. So obviously they're all citing different websites now, but I think there's just been kind of trends spotted which ones this and the kind of things they cite. Like so I'll just run through them there. So like ChatGPT kind of heavily leans towards established and factual resources. Now even that being said, I'm pretty sure Wikipedia is the highest one that it cites. It cites the most.
Yeah.
So some people might see that as established and factual, but I guess there's a lot of ways to think about Wikipedia. Then Gemini, so it blends authoritative sources with community input. So that's, I think, a nice blend of both. So YouTube and blogs. Another interesting thing about Gemini was that YouTube was the single most cited domain. So
See,
like, we were already talking last week about how important YouTube videos are now. Like,
Yeah, it's going to
I
be
think
massive.
that's very in line with Google search at the minute, where it's kind of pushing up, Reddit content and Quora content and YouTube
the
results.
community input,
Very
yeah.
much kind of first person, like user experienced answers.
Yeah. And then Perplexity is kind of on the other side. Again, I suppose it strongly leads but towards the very trusted expert sources is what they found in specialized review sites. And one thing they said about Perplexity too that was interesting was it includes some user generated content, but it seems to have a good grasp of what's the lower quality user generated content. So it seems to be able to include some, but really avoid the lower quality stuff, which I feel like, so that's your hallucinations and stuff, I'm guessing. So it seems to be able to avoid that. And then obviously the most important one, the Google AI overviews. So I don't know if it's a good or bad thing. Probably a good thing. It's apparently it's the most diverse with what it cites. So it pulls from the widest mix of sources. So it's very diverse. You've got blogs, news articles, like you said, Mark, a lot of community content like Reddit and Quora. Um, and one another thing, but that was LinkedIn articles were very popular. I think maybe the fourth most cited thing was LinkedIn articles. So it's one I wouldn't have thought of immediately off the top of my head. So I think
You,
that's kind
you
of
see,
interesting.
LinkedIn is actually becoming a very popular spot for companies to put up their information because it ranks so well in Google because like it's such a trusted domain that
Yeah.
anything you publish on there can actually do very well. So it kind of makes sense. But yeah, no, it's great kind of to see all the different ones. But yeah, YouTube seems to be a great one. Um, Reddit and Quora just require so much time and effort to have a strategy around those two. But yeah, it's not the worst if there's ways to do some black hat stuff around. Well, not black hat, but I suppose some hacks into. Yeah, yeah.
Ask what's the best pizza in Waterford, and then
Well,
we
didn't someone
go
did that?
back,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
go back and edit your answers or your question.
Yeah, so you can again to get past the community guidelines, isn't it? The guys who approve the questions in the subreddits, they'll ask a question. They'll say, "Yeah, say let's use that as an example. The best pizza in Waterford. That's very. You can put it in, have everyone mention it, and then you can go back in and edit your question and say, even if everyone else upvotes, I don't know, Azuro and Dunmore East or something like that, right? Let's pretend. I know that's not the town, Mark, but it's Waterford.
What?
But they could go back in and edit it for edit someone else in there in the question. A very, very good way of getting some traffic from it.
There was actually one other interesting thing I'd just say on that there about the AI pulling from all different sources. So I was listening to the radio there at the weekend and they had a little piece, it was on RT, a little piece about AI. So they had this poet on, she's an Irish poet, I don't know her name now, I can't remember it. But then they had like a specialist on for about AI, like a kind of, and he was, they were talking back and forth. And basically what they did was they prompted ChatGPT to write poems in the same style as this poet writes poetry. But the stuff it kept getting back, like they were arguably good poems, like, but the stuff it was referencing in the poems, she started noticing that it was referencing things she had said in interviews rather than she'd ever said in her poetry. So it was like
Oh,
rather than referencing the hard factual things like her poetry, like it should have been, it was referencing like random interviews and stuff. It's like so.
No,
It's like you have to be very careful where it's pulling from.
yeah,
Because the obvious thing to do when you're writing a poem in the same style as someone would be reference the poetry, but it was referencing random interviews
the
where they could
person.
about her holiday or something like that. So
Okay.
I wonder, is that because stuff like interviews is probably easier and quicker to scrape, whereas you might have like the poems might be behind paywalls, so maybe you can't access them.
yeah,
Yeah, they might be digital versions.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know. So yeah, no, definitely.
which yeah, was interesting.
That's an interesting one. Mark, so Grok.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody drives a Tesla or uses X. I think that Grok AI has been going a bit mental on Twitter or X or whatever it's called now. But Elon Musk, he's putting it into the Tesla cars. So if you drive a Tesla, you'll have a new AI assistant from next week, according to Musk. There you go.
God. Yeah, I saw a few things on X. We won't mention it on here, but yeah, I heard it went a little bit mad, referencing a bit of far right stuff. But yeah, I suppose.
Nothing for Skodas yet, so I don't really care.
And the helpful tool of the week.
Oh yeah, this is actually very cool, and I would recommend this. This is the Nightwatch Search Simulator extent. It's a Chrome extension, so if you go to Chrome extensions and search for Nightwatch, basically what it lets you do is simulate a search from anywhere in the world without using a VPN. So you can't really see in that screenshot there, but I just put in SEO agency and then put it to the country as the UK. So where this is like very useful is if you're just researching markets in the places like the US and the UK, it just kind of lets you do it without needing a VPN.
And without having personalization involved and websites you visited in the past already.
Yeah, exactly. It just kind of gives you a clean search. So you could kind of be looking at how, if you have any UK companies you're working with, you can see how they can compare directly against, competitors without kind of relying on, other tools like SEMrush or whatever. So yeah, would highly recommend it. Use it for market entry testing, and you can use it for just checking competitor rankings in different countries.
Okay.
Very good.
Class. I haven't used that one. I'll have to download that now. Okay. Again, we'll see if we can find any, but we've the expert.
It's going to be a recurring joke every week, is it? That we
every week
the experts never arrive. So the first question for the two lads is which platforms? So we kind of were talking about this now, kind of even last week as well. But which platforms, Reddit, Wikipedia, YouTube, etc., do you believe are the most valuable for SEO right now? So I guess it's always changing, but right now, what do you feel like is most valuable?
Look, for me, I find the best one to use at the moment for ease of entry and for getting more information as quickly out there as possible will be the YouTube side of things. You can control it, you can comment it, you can create content very easily. The Reddit side of things, usually traffic comes from very popular forums or topics that are already there. You have to try and up your profile, get approved. Wikipedia, there's a huge, like if you can get in there, unbelievable. But generally you have to have or know someone who would approve your edit. And those edits can take a while to get through as well. And they might not be approved. So getting into Wikipedia is very difficult. While YouTube, you have a lot of topics to speak about. You're able to edit the descriptions yourself, edit the copy yourself, the content, and try and rank in those ones. Now, you do have to build up your YouTube profile, but it is the second largest search engine out there. Even with Reddit being skyrocketing to probably 1 billion monthly visits from the looks of things on SEMrush and Wikipedia having the same and being referenced so much in ChatGPT, I still think the YouTube is the one to go for right now.
Yeah, YouTube something like 2.5 billion logged in users per month or something.
Yeah, and it's like the YouTube side of things, you're going to get those into those AI overviews, and when AI mode releases, if there's videos that have to be referenced or if there's the short videos, they're going to go in there as well.
Good stuff.
And I'm just going to throw something in there. If you're like an e-commerce shop, Amazon, I would try and rank for that.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. So, what's one SEO myth you can debunk for us?
Oh, there's so many SEO myths.
Hang on, I'm just going to pull up.
I think it's true.
All right, I'll go with the one that I know is the best, right? That I always get is PPC advertising affects SEO. I have clients come to me all the time saying, I'm investing in Google Ads, which is helping push up my SEO as well. That is not the case. When you pay for ads, you pay until your budget runs out. You run out of budget, your ads stop. That does not impact your SEO at all. The only way the paid media in any way could affect your SEO is if it gets the brand out there enough that you might get picked up somewhere. Say someone sees your paid ads and then references your website organically, that can then have it. So it's like more of the marketing side of things, but the direct correlation between paid advertising implement or having an effect on your SEO or positive effect on your SEO is at this particular moment in time inaccurate, I believe. And it's one that's been debunked by many SEOs and commented on by Google themselves. So yeah, that'll be my big one.
Okay. Okay. That's very good to know. I feel like I can see how you might think the opposite. As someone new, I feel like I could see how, because I mean, if
yeah. When you're dealing with small business owners, they're like, they think that, it's just, if I'm getting up there in the paid, it must be helping me organically, because look, it's Google. They have to give you a little bit of a boost if you're giving them cash, but they'll only give you the boost in the fact that they'll display your ads. As soon as that runs out, it's game over time. And but look, there an example that you could have had paid media where, let's just say an example, someone picked you up in the news and they referenced your article or referenced your service, then that would have helped your SEO. But no, paid doesn't. But yeah, that's it. And follow us on whatever platform, and we're going to be putting out a lot more of these weekly news updates. We need to get better with our content marketing side of things ourselves.
I think we can put the links for any, the Ahrefs study and stuff into when we upload it, can we?
Yeah, we can, of course. We should be. Okay, perfect. Thanks, guys. We'll catch you next week.
Cheers.
Bye.